Emma and her mom lived in an old house. One day, Emma found an old attic. Emma's mom told her not to go into the attic, but Emma was bored, very bored.
She pushed the old wooden door open. It creaked loudly. The air was thick with dust and the smell of mothballs. Emma coughed. A glint of light caught her eye. Emma brushed the blankets aside and gasped. A porcelain doll sat propped up against the wall. It had rosy cheeks and bright red lips, frozen in a creepy smile. Its eyes seemed to follow her every move. Emma decided to call the doll Sophie. She brushed Sophie's long black hair and tied it with a red ribbon. The doll seemed to stare at her with an intensity that made Emma feel uneasy, but she couldn't bring herself to put it down. That night, Emma placed Sophie on her nightstand. The doll's glassy eyes seemed to gleam in the darkness. Emma tried to ignore it and closed her eyes, but she couldn't shake off the feeling that Sophie was watching her.
Just as Emma was about to drift off, she heard it. A faint whisper, barely audible. It seemed to be coming from Sophie.
"Emma!" the whisper called.
Emma sat up in bed, her heart pounding. She stared at the doll, but it sat motionless. The whisper came again, louder. How could a doll talk? She pulled her blankets up to her chin, her eyes wide with fear. The next morning, Emma couldn't shake off the unsettling feeling. She went to her toy box, but her teddy bear was gone. Emma searched everywhere, but it was nowhere to be found.
Later, her favorite dollhouse vanished too. Emma noticed flickering shadows and heard whispers, but when she turned around, no one was there.
Emma knew Sophie was behind it, but she was too scared to tell anyone.
"Mom, I need to tell you something. The toys, they're missing, and strange things are happening."
Oh, Emma, it's just your overactive imagination.
"But Mom, it's not just stories. There's something wrong with the doll."
But Emma knew better. She knew that Sophie was not just any ordinary doll. Emma felt a chill run down her spine. She was on her own. Section 6, A Game of Hide and Seek. That night, Sophie's whispers returned, more insistent than ever.
"Let's play a game, Emma."
Emma tried to ignore it, but the voice seemed to seep into her thoughts, impossible to escape.
"Hide and seek."
Sophie giggled. Emma's eyes darted to the doll on her nightstand. Her blood ran cold. Sophie was gone. The doll had vanished from its spot. Emma's heart pounded in her chest. Fear propelled her out of bed. She had to find Sophie. She had to end this nightmare. Section 7. Laughter in the Dark. Emma searched every corner of her room, her heart pounding in her ears. But the doll was nowhere to be found. She crept down the hallway, her breath catching in her throat. The house was dark and silent, except for the sound of her own ragged breathing. Then she heard it. A soft, eerie giggle. It seemed to be coming from the end of the hall. Emma followed the sound, her fear mounting with each step. The laughter grew louder, echoing through the empty house. Emma knew that laughter. It belonged to Sophie, and it was coming from the attic. Section 8. Back to the attic. Emma stood at the foot of the attic stairs, her hand trembling as she reached for the doorknob. The laughter continued, urging her forward. She took a deep breath and pushed the door open. The attic was just as she had left it, filled with dusty boxes and cobwebs. The laughter was louder now, echoing all around her. Emma cautiously made her way through the maze of forgotten things, her heart pounding in her chest.
"Where are you, Sophie?"
Emma called out, her voice trembling.
"Here I am, Emma."
Sophie's voice sent shivers down Emma's spine. It seemed to be coming from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Section 9. Emma's Turn to Hide. Emma whirled around, searching for the source of the voice. And then she saw her. Sophie was sitting in the middle of the room, her porcelain face illuminated by a sliver of moonlight from the attic window.
"I found you, Sophie,"
Emma said, her voice shaky.
"Now it's your turn to hide."
And then, just as quickly as she had appeared, Sophie vanished. Emma's eyes widened in terror. She was all alone.
"Emma, come out, come out."
The whispering laughter started again, closer now. Emma didn't breathe. She didn't dare move. Then, silence. Emma had vanished. Only the faint echo of laughter remained, a chilling reminder of the game they had played. Like, share, and subscribe for more haunting tales.